Hi guys, it's been a while. So in this video, I'm going to be asking you to decide which is the better album. Emperor's in the Nightside Eclipse or Gorgoroth's Antichrist, and we're going to start right now. So Emperor have always been this unique act among the Norwegian black metal scene. They always have leaned towards a rather epic approach to black metal, and probably they were the very first to do so. Not to mention the idea of incorporating their sound keyboards and orchestrations, thus creating an unmistakable and possibly one of the most appealing brand of extreme music, at least for what's concerning the 90s time span. This theory may as well have been proved by the fact that they are one of the best-selling black metal acts of all time, having sold more than 500,000 copies of their records up to nowadays. Something that is really saying something. If you really think that they stayed really true to their roots and their artistic identity, writing music always for the sake of their passion and their beliefs, rather than landing on popish or commercially winking releases. That said, Emperor are always and will always be among the big four of Norwegian black metal, alongside bands like Dark Throne, Mayhem and Ulver, holding the place of both creators and innovators of an incredibly resonating musical reality, thanks to masterpieces as their first full length, named In the Nightside Eclipse. As I stated above, Emperor have always had a certain inclination for an epic side of compositions, as fully displayed in their second release, Anthems to the Woken at Dusk. But they never underestimated the importance of atmosphere when it comes to writing their music. In fact, that is true for the entirety of their discography, but most for this one album. Although the keyboards are extensively present for the whole 48 minutes of the CD, they are employed mostly to create the atmosphere with protracted chord arrangements and synths, bringing a sense of mystical and freezing daydreaming, complemented by the occasional orchestration matching the guitar work. Beautifully intricate and malevolent patterns. They often play different riffs that perfectly complement each other, as they clearly displayed in the tracks as the famous Ino a Satana. The drumming is really varied as well, alternating furious and monotonous blast beat sessions with calmer and more atmospheric parts, adding depth and complexity to the song structures. The vocals consist in high, desperate shrieks performed by at the time of recording an Il Ishan, a circumstance that ended up making the album even more emotional and passionate, and add the perfect production, matching the raw and primitive attitude of black metal with the not so lo-fi mixing values, and the recipe is complete. Now, I could go on for hours talking about each track of the lot, from the full blast of the infinity of thoughts to the evocative epic cosmic keys to my creation and time, passing for the ominous Beyond the Great Vast Forest to the legendary duo of I Am the Black Wizard and Ino a Satana. The album is not only a work of art, but also a real declaration of intent, a spiritual testament speaking directly to the listener's soul, both on the musical and equally studied lyrical side. I suggest you have an appropriate listen to the masterpiece if you haven't heard it already, or to listen to it again if you haven't in a while. Albums like this are the reason why metal music deserves not only to be listened to, but to also be respected, revered and handed down from our generation to those who will follow. All hail the mighty Emperor, for thou the art of darkness. Antichrist is the second full-length album by Norwegian black metal band Gorgoroth, and it's effing good. It starts off with one of the coolest intros you'll ever hear, which sounds like the devil pleasuring himself, and proceeds to pound your ears in. Crank this one up, it deserves it. Let's start off with the guitar work. It's the best thing on this album. No surprise there, right, in fairness. It is the perfect blend of brutality, melody and conception. It's what stood out the most on this album. Almost all the songs sound fast and are ear-pounding. However, on the side note, there are some very catchy riffs to be found on the album as well. The last thing you would expect to hear on such a level of hatred is found in some of these songs. Songs such as Heaven's Fall, Sorg, the latter being a very slow, melancholic, just overall eerie sounding atmosphere track. that is nowhere near being a bad thing. Simply because all the tracks sound great, the guitars on this album just feel right and perfect. The bass definitely has presence on this album. Overall, it goes perfect with the guitar work and it fits right into the album, giving it that perfect pillar of heavy balance. Vocals sound nice on here as well. They are very well done. They have that demonic feel to them that most black metal fans love, and they are not very loud for the most part. But in a way, in this album, it works. Raspy, demonic, soul-stealing, perfect for a black metal album. The drumming fits right in as you would expect. In this album, the drumming has it all. Everything from fast blast beats to the slow compositions for the decomposition. It's perfect and finishes off the album with excellent results. A couple of fills here and there and we are set. If you love black metal, this is a timeless classic that you can hear any time you feel like listening to hell. You need this album. Regardless of whatever you think about black metal, no one can really deny that the fact that this is an influential album. It isn't that long, but it's definitely worth your money. Throughout each of Gorgoroth's incarnations, they have evolved but maintained a certain aura and sound to them. This one is no exception. If you like the other Gorgoroth releases, I see no reason as to why you would not like this one. Despite the undeniable experimentation of this album compared to their Pentagram release, you can rest easy and say that they keep what brought them to the dance. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.